lining, you have pressed your centre seam of your lining and you have pressed the centre seam of your skirt, and that you are happy that your zip is the best zip you can do. Okay, so everything is pressed.
Are you wanting us to?
If you have an excessively long bit here, you are fine to bar tack across the bottom of here and finish the zip off and cut it. Yeah,
Cut it and then put material around it?
You can put the material around. That bit's not going to be in contact with your body, so it won't be the end of the world if you don't put the material, but just make sure you bar tack on there. Okay?
Yeah.
So now this next process is attaching the lining to the inside of the zipper. So the first thing we have to do is check that our facing does actually align with our skirt after we've sewn our darts. Okay, so we've got a datum. Mine actually has a notch here that should match with my dart here. Okay, but you need to check that these things still all line up. Okay, so we check that first. Then we're going to look where we want our lining and our facing to sit back to. So it's a set back facing. You've done this before, okay, in your other skirts. The difference is we've got the lining down to the bottom of it for this one. So what we want to do is line up our facing or our notch that we have here, and in the right position, and then fold under our facing so that it sits onto our zipper tape where we like it to be. Now, depends which lecture you have, whether we want it to be set back 1/2 centimetre or a little bit more than that. Okay, I don't mind as long as it's even on either side. Okay, if you decide 1/2 centimetre on this side, make it a mirror image on this side. So once you have it sitting how you like, the same way that we do for our other set back facing, couple of little pins, okay, to pin on our facing where our stitching line is, and onto our zipper tape where our stitching line is. Okay, once we have that, we're going to flip it over so that the two sides are right side together so that we can sew it. Okay, we're going to unzip our zip halfway down, and we're going to line those two pins up together there, and you would remember that that would mean that you will have the facing sticking out. So generally speaking, if you've decided to set back 1/2 centimetre, you should have 1 centimetre extra here. Okay, but we're not going to take it like that all the way down. Okay, we're going to line that up at the top. Whoops, line our little pinnies up at the top. Make sure that we're even at the top here, that our facing's at the same level as our zipper. We're going to pop a pin, and we need to indicate where it was that we decided to sew, because if we don't sew in that same spot in the next process, everything we worked out won't work anymore. Okay, so we're going to keep that running parallel down the width of the facing. Okay, and then we're going to align our centre backs. We're going to fold our lining to the side so we're only dealing with 1/2 of it. Going to line up our centre backs down here to our notch, and at that 2 centimetre below point where we finish sewing, okay, we're going to bring it in. Okay, to then pop a pin to hold it, okay, because the lining's very slippery and it can move. Okay, and as I come up here, I'm just going to taper that along. So it's like a gradual taper out to where it matches back together here. Okay, then I'm going to, I need to sew from this side for my setting back. So I'm going to sew from the top. I'll refit my needle first. Start from the top. Who picked up my pins for me? Thank you.
Oh, that's easy.
Backpack.
I'll put them there.
Okay, then we're going to stitch. We'll be stitching through our zipper tape and our seam allowance. Okay, tapering into our centre back. Going to go past our zipper notch. Now we just need to check on this side here that we're not banging into anything we shouldn't, so make sure that the other side of our lining is well and truly out of the way. Also make sure you've got no little tucky bits down here, okay, because it's quite easy to get those. Okay, I'm going to stitch down to about 1 centimetre, 1.5 centimetres past our notch. set back all the way along. Okay. Then we're going to repeat the process on the other side. Okay, so do double check up here how you did this process to get this side, okay, to line it up. The tricky bit is down the bottom here, you need to make sure that you don't end up with a funny little tuck down the bottom here, that you get that sitting nice and even and flat. So you need to sit it there, make sure that your seam is running in the center of your coil, okay, so it all lines up nice, get it settling nicely, sort of mimic what you've got happening here, and then just pop a little pin in this crease line here, so that that's your datum point for where that has to hold as well. Because your lining's got so much movement in it, it's really easy to